get very excited when we mention Cheyenne Mountain, because that's where the Stargate is.
Right.
Those of you who know. Anyway, we're saving less money than at any time since records began. That was the evidence from the government's statistics body yesterday, the ONS.
Yes, thank you. They also revealed disposable income's fallen for 3 quarters in a row, and some economists are actually warning that the situation is unsustainable. So is that right? Let's talk to our finance expert, Jasmine Birtles, in the studio. Can it continue like this?
Well, it's quite possible, yes, because all prices have gone up because sterling has dropped. So as we import more than we export, and this particularly is things like food, for example, things we have to have, people are having to dip into their savings, they're having to borrow more, but they're not spending it on fun stuff on the whole. They're spending it on day-to-day living. Like I say, food, gas bills, petrol's gone up, all of these things. And this is not great for the economy. Because
fun things are what you want to boost the economy.
Yes, exactly. So people are just about coping. And in many cases, they're not coping. And because they're dipping into their savings, this is bad for the future as well, because quite often you're talking about their future savings.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there's a difference, though, isn't there, between people who are having to dip into their savings, which is grim for ordinary life, and those people who just aren't saving at all. Now, for those people, is there anything that can be done? I mean, is it worth saving, even if you're only putting £5 a month away? Does that make a difference?
Yeah, I think it does, honestly. I mean, one of the other problems, of course, is that savings rates are so low at the moment.
Yeah, no incentive.
No incentive, exactly. So I'm getting people going, oh, what's the point? I might as well spend it. And that, frankly, is the point of having low interest rates. The government wants us to spend, boost the economy. But one of the things that I say that everybody should be doing is having a savings safety net set aside in case everything goes horribly wrong, you lose your job, something happens so that you can't earn. And so then ideally we need a savings safety net that we can dip into. Let's say ideally for 6 months we should have enough money set aside to cover our bills, mortgage rate. I know.
It's a lot to ask,
does
isn't
that?
it?
Yeah, well, quite. Most of us, and this is the thing, in this country we've had so little training with money. Really, most of the time, we just manage. We're just managing to pay our bills, just managing to pay our debts. And if we lose our job, most of us won't cope for more than a month. And we need to reverse this. Forget savings rates, stick it in even in a piggy bank if you have to. But ideally, we should have enough money, at least for 3 months, to cover us at least for 3 months.
OK, well, that boils down to the very key point then. How do people save if they're just making enough to get by? That means saving more money from your expenditure. Now, what are the sensible ways, let's be honest, the easy ways to do that?
Yes, quite. Well, there are a few things that we need to look at. Firstly, cutting down on spending. Now, many people would say, well, I can't cut anymore. Yeah. One thing I would suggest people consider is looking for as much stuff as they can for free. There's a lot around that you can do for free. If you have children and you're looking for free entertainment, there is a lot of it out there. Have a look online, put free in, see what your council's doing, see what you can get, actual products you can get for free on websites like freecycle.org or the free stuff section on Gumtree. But what I think at the same time we need, and again, families are the same, whether you're single, married, families, whatever, is to look for ways to make extra money. And there are a lot. So this often does take a bit of sacrifice as well. So, for example, if you've got a spare room, rent it out. I've had arguments with people who say, I don't want strangers in my home. If you're in debt, you don't have that luxury. I think rent that out. Look for ways, things that you can make and sell at car boot sales. Really, it does come down to these bits of money. Sometimes, as you say, making an extra £5 makes an extra £10. If you're renting a place out, maybe you could do it on Airbnb. You can make an extra £50. And all these bits of money could be either helping you day to day or ideally being put aside in your savings accounts.
Yeah.
Good advice.
It is good advice, Jasmine. Thank you, as always.
Thank you.
Let us know if you're affected by any of that. We're going to have your views on how you get by and how, if you can manage to save anything, however small it may be, if you think that's possible or not.
Yeah, do get in touch. But for now, plenty more still to come here on Sunrise.